Looking at Bristol's history begins and ends with manufacturing. Known as a leader in manufacturing early clock parts, Bristol is now famous for manufacturing all types of components for all types of industries. This is where names such as the Barnes Group, Raleigh Springs, and countless others began their heritage, which continues today. There are over 13,000 open manufacturing jobs just in Connecticut. There are many people working together in Bristol today to ensure this heritage continues. One is the Central Connecticut Chambers of Commerce. Its president and CEO is Cindy Bombard.
Cindy, you've lived in this area your whole life. You know as well as anybody that Bristol was really kind of built on manufacturing, but it really isn't history, is it? We still have a lot of good growing companies in town, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. Some of the manufacturers that have been back in the 50s are still here today. They may have changed a little bit, technology-wise, but they're still in existence.
You know, what's interesting too is that there's about 13,000 jobs in the state of Connecticut just in manufacturing that are going unfilled. You know, that's a great problem to have. So as far as the chamber's concerned, what are some of the things that, I know you're very involved in NESMA, so maybe talk a little bit about that and some of the other things the chamber is doing to help the companies and the people of Bristol.
Certainly. NESMA stands for New England Spring and Metal Stamping Association, and actually it was started back in 1954 by some of the forefathers that own the companies, Associated Springs, Gemco, just to name a few, and it's still very lively. It's 77 company members strong. That's company-wise, member-wise, people-wise, it's in the hundreds in this Bristol arena, and they are all looking for the skilled workforce. So the Chamber of Commerce works very closely with NESMA, and we've created a technical advisory council, which is made up of some of those manufacturers, our local educators through the public school system, the tech school systems, the community college, and now the universities, because our job as a Chamber of Commerce is to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
You know, and what's good is you or Katie, the marketing person at the Central Chamber, comes to the Bristol Marketing Committee meeting on Friday, and you kind of always keep this in front of us as well. I think one of the very cool things that you've done this month was the job fair, which happened at the first of this month. So tell us a little bit about that and who was there and what was going on there.
Certainly. The job fair came from listening to our employers and also listening to the schools and the colleges about kids can't find jobs or students can't find jobs, and our manufacturers or the trades can't find the people to fill those. So again, we put the pieces of the puzzle together. We decided to create the job fair. We had 40 vendors come to that job fair, and we had well over 500 individuals attend that job fair. From students, just to kind of take a look at career choices, from individuals looking for jobs, or some of them for looking for job changes. We had companies that are local companies here. From Southington Tool came in. You've got Atlantic Precision, which is a company here in Bristol. The Barnes Aerospace came. Associated Spring came. We even had Electric Boat come up from the Groton area, as well as Stanley Black & Decker.
That really shows the desperation of finding good people, and I think the misnomer is that a manufacturing job is grease, bad hours, no advancement. Nothing could be farther from the truth, could it?
No, so what we've done to eliminate that stigma of the manufacturing is we've opened up the doors to the students to tour these companies, and also bring our educators into the workforce so they can kind of see what the newness of the companies do look like, which is great for the school to career coordinators, the guidance counselors, the teachers, because then they can go back into the school districts and they can talk to these students that want those types of jobs as a career opportunity.
The key now is training a new generation of workers. One of the driving forces in Bristol to educating and then helping residents find the new lucrative manufacturing jobs is the Bristol Adult and Continuing Education program led by its director, Larry Covino.
The first and foremost is if you want to get into manufacturing, you are going to need a high school degree. So that's the first thing that Bristol Adult Ed can help with. I try to stay away from the term GED, adult high school diploma,
Right.
because GED is one of the options where they're sitting and taking a test. There's the credit diploma, there's the national external diploma where they're working from home. But that first step is the high school diploma. From there, we also offer our students the opportunity with regards to resume writing and interview skills and the soft skills that any employer is going to be looking for. The biggest thing I hear from employers in Bristol is send me someone that knows an 8-hour workday means you work for 8 hours, and a 5-day work week means you show up 5 days a week.
On time.
On time, and we'll train them. That's the key. Now, we also have been offering our manufacturing programs, which is a very basic introduction to manufacturing that goes over blueprint reading, mathematics skills that are common throughout the area. And the curriculum was actually put together by the manufacturers in the area themselves. They looked at it, they helped us write it, they signed off on it. And so that's key. So they know when a student has come through that program, they know what types of skills they're coming with. And that program includes right down to helping students complete a job application, prepping them for the interview, and in fact, helping them determine which company might be the best fit for them.
I think the biggest fallacy is an old-time perception of a manufacturing job is bad hours, bad working condition, no advancement, and poor pay. That just isn't the case now, is it?
Oh, no. You walk onto any factory floor in this area, and I've been to a dozen of them, and it's as clean as what you would see in this classroom. It's not loud. It can get warm, but it's not. They have airflow systems. It's completely different from what people imagine in the 70s. And especially, I was in New Departure in the 70s, and it was loud and it was dirty. It was like hazy from everything, all the particles floating in the air. You won't see any of that. We also always tell our students who are considering manufacturing, look at the cars in the parking lot. That's a key indicator. Manufacturing, and it's not just working behind a machine anymore. They need HR people, they need accountants, they need a variety of different people that can support the industry. They're clean jobs, they're great jobs, there's health care benefits. It really is a great place to work.
Well, I think it's a great tribute to you and your staff about what you've done here, because you said something key that I hope everybody paid attention to. You talk to these companies all the time, so they're asking your advice, and you can actually kind of recommend or at least make sure that they know about all the students here.
Absolutely. The last 2 training programs that we've done, the majority of the students had jobs before they graduated.
Wow.
Because we reach out, we make sure that the area manufacturers know that we're running a cohort. We even invite them in to see the students in action, so that if they're looking for somebody in a particular area, they'll email us and they'll say, hey, I need somebody in work a 4-slide machine. And we'll say, okay, we've got this individual that was excelling in that area, so we're going to send them over to meet with you. We've developed a great relationship. The manufacturers recognize the fact that they need to go outside their comfort zone and work with other groups. And we've had a great opportunity to collaborate with them. They've stepped up financially to support our programs, as well as to send their trainers. So our folks are getting trained by people who are working in the industry. And that's key, so that we know and we make sure that we're teaching the skills that literally they're going to be able to walk out of our classroom and onto the factory floor. And it's not going to be something that was from 10 years ago. It's going to be up-to-date information.
I think another thing that people should know about the program out here is that you really go out and see a need. For example, there was a lot of openings in being a bank teller, and then you went and designed the curriculum to help people become bank tellers and bank officials. Are you working with the manufacturing people as well to actually look at different courses and curriculum to get in the program?
Absolutely. They look at our curriculum on a regular basis to make sure that it's the most up-to-date for what they need. They also come and sit in on the interviews when we're interviewing people for the program. We will have manufacturers here because we're educators. So what we think could be a great person that could fit the mold for a manufacturer, we may not be correct every time. So we've invited the manufacturers to come in or to send their HR people to come in and sit in on their interviews with us. Our last cohort, the Women in Manufacturing, we were supported by Beakley Corporation, by DeCruz Manufacturing. Both of them sent over some of their folks to talk with our women that were in the training program to help us through the interview process and the vetting process for folks so that we put our efforts toward the best group. The banking was key, and I have to give a shout out. Thomas and Savings Bank really were the ones that supported us with regards to that. The bank teller curriculum was set by them. They sent us their people to do the training with our folks. It was.
So this is modern. This isn't a textbook that you did 10 years ago. This is like today's banking.
This is today. This is today, to the point that Thomas and Savings Bank was able to get us into the corporation that's not too far from here that handles all the online banking pieces for the majority of all the banks in this area. So our students were able to go over there about at least six times and work on their terminals through practice programs that they had so that when they went into the bank, the terminal that they were going to be working on looked very similar to the one they were trained on. And that was a phenomenal collaboration as well. And really, that's the key to all of this, is we see the Chamber, we see Main Street, we see the City of Bristol, we see the Board of Ed, we see the manufacturers all collaborating to help make these training programs possible. Again, I go back to the fact, we're the educators. We're not in manufacturing. We're not in banking. But when everybody comes to the table, when I know I can pick up the phone and say, I need somebody to come over and do some mock interviews with some of our students, I get people email me. Within an hour, I get a dozen people that will, I'll come over for a half hour, I'll come over for an hour and sit and interview folks. That's really, I think, the most unique thing that I have found. Just so satisfying, gratifying, is everybody's coming together in support of our students and of these unique programs.
It's easy to see the program's success. Here are a few of its graduates who are now prospering in Bristol companies manufacturing components for industries around the world.
Adult Ed really helped me there because I could take night classes and work during the daytime. And Larry, Jackie, everybody there, they're real nice people, and they helped me get to where I needed to be. Once I graduated, I ended up getting a job through Raleigh Spring and Stamping. And it helped me get to where I needed to be, really. You know, I'm only 20 years old and I have a 7-month-old son that I have to take care of. And honestly, it was probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
I want to continue learning, and this company has encouraged me to not only stop here, but to continue furthering my education. I eventually want to go into CNC programming. Right. So, and they helped me out here, and they gave me the tools to succeed. Picking this as a career, I recommend and would recommend it to any woman to go out there and get it done.
The environment's clean, it's not too loud. Definitely don't go home dirty or anything. Every part that I work on is different. It's a good job, and you know, it's close to home, so don't got to travel far either.
Well, I like that it's not monotonous. Every day is a little bit different. I like working with my hands. A lot of the stuff we make is for aerospace or automotive, so basically, you know, the parts could be used all over the world.
For more information on manufacturing training, check out the Bristol Adult and Continuing Education Center, or Bristol at Tunxis, or Bristol Tech.